Hello everyone, this is Balaji Kayas signing in for Brain Smart Labs, and I am here to teach you how does a loop work in Java. How does it work? Glad you asked. Hey Brijesh, hey Murgesh, it's been a long time yaar. Oi Brijesh, oi Murgesh, ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿನ ಆಯ್ತು ನಿನ್ನ ನೋಡಿ. ಬ್ರಿಜೇಶ್ ముర్గేష్ ఎక్కడున్నావు బావా ఇన్ని రోజులు? And that's how loop works in Java. Now before we start with this topic, let us see what we did in our previous session. In our previous session, understanding control statements, we saw the control statements in Java transfers the control of a program to a different line to give it an alternate flow. The three forms of control statements in Java are A. Conditional statements, B. Looping statements, and C. Branching statements. We all saw how a conditional if statement works in Java, wherein if the given condition is true, the program control continues to execute the block. Whereas if the given condition is false, the program control will skip the block and executes the rest of the program. We then saw the working of else if block, wherein an alternate if or else conditions are present. The program control executes the if block if the given condition is true, and if the given condition is false, our else block will be executed. For multiple conditions which are lined up one after the other, we saw how an else if ladder is used in our program, which acts as a chain of conditions. We understood that both if and else if can receive conditions which should relate only to a Boolean value. Last but not the least, we saw how the switch case is illustrated in Java. And here in this topic, we came to know that a switch case in Java can take inputs of short, int, char and enum. A break statement in a switch block is very much necessary for every case, as the break statement signifies the end of each case. For the program control to come out of a switch block after executing a respective case, an explicit break statement is very much necessary. In today's class, we will be seeing what are looping statements and how it is implemented in Java. Stay close.
Looping statements in Java.
Looping statements are used in a program to make a few statements work repeatedly again and again till some logic brings it to a halt. Loops in Java can be categorized into three types, that is for loop, while loop and do while loop. The structure and syntax of these three loops are as seen below. Now let us start understanding how does a for loop work in Java. Before I start teaching you in detail, for the record, I need to tell you loops are damn important for your programming career. I am not saying it is very difficult to understand, but yeah, sometimes it turns out to be very much misleading.
Oh really?
Me personally have handled many live sessions of students of various age groups. Loops are the most confusing topic to start with. The main reason here is almost 50% of the students cannot visualize the program flow in their first attempt. In a practical scenario, students are broadly classified into two major subgroups. Some students have excellent logic determining ability, whereas some students are very creative in nature. Modern science says students who have their left half of their brain strong have a very good logic determining ability, while students who have their right half of their brain strong are too damn creative in nature. And trust me, they are very good at sketching, drawing, art, music, etc. If you are a strong left brainer, you will be a pro in giving aptitude tests, solving puzzles, and yeah, you will be able to understand loops in your very first attempt.
Oh really?
For right brainers, believe me, you can draw a pencil sketch of anything within no time, and that's a plus point for you. But at the same time, you will be facing some problems here and there in understanding complex logical stuff like loops in your first attempt. But what to do? All are my students, and it is my responsibility to train whether you are a left brainer or you are a right brainer. Sometimes it might take multiple times to tell you the same topic again and again, so that things get actually into your head. Again and again. You must have tried that Amanisha chocolate, alva? The great sage Vedavyasa had once said, Avrittihi asutrupato alpena manushyaha. It means we human beings are so dull-headed that to make a few good things understand, we need to repeat the same thing again and again till you perfectly understand. This shows even Vedavyasa also believed in loops back in that time. That's the reason we have divided the entire topic of loops into 4 different parts. With this bifurcation, we can show you more examples and narrate you each step line after line so that you can understand clearly how loops are functioning in Java. For students who are dedicated and who want to learn and come up in life, these videos will definitely be some sort of blessing in disguise. Especially when I teach you break and continue, as 80% of my students have literally failed to understand these topics in their first attempt. But for others who think they know everything and feel I am just simply dragging the content to impress my other students, sorry boss, this is not a right place for you. If you stop watching videos now also, I have no issues. Nim karma adak nanen madadu. Understand, 4 videos into 20 minutes, it's not the time taken for me to teach. It is the time taken for you to learn. Java en kallepuri alla. First adanna artha madkoli. For you to conceive the concept, it takes so much time and so many videos. For those who want a crash course and want to learn everything in just 12 days, go and crash yourself to some big bandegallu. ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕಾ ಎಲ್ಲಾದರೂ ಹೋಗಿ ತಲೆ ಪಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಸಾಯ್ರಿ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಮ್ಮ ತಲೆ ಯಾಕೆ ತಿಂತೀರಾ ಇಲ್ಲಿ. Moving on, let us now understand how does a for loop work in Java.
Understanding for loop.
In my computer, go to D drive, workspace and click on basic examples folder. Create a new directory by name 08 loops. Inside the directory 08 loops, create a new file by name loopsdemo1.java as we have shown you in our previous sessions and start editing the file using edit plus. Organizing your programs is very important and your employers will be paying for the quality work you do. I am making you practice this from a very basic stage so that these small things will become your muscle memory tomorrow when you are working in a company. Moving on, let us see how does a for loop is structured in Java.
Structure of a for loop.
The for loop in Java is divided into 4 parts. That is number 1, counter initialization zone, where a loop counter is declared and it is initially set to a value. Number 2, looping condition zone. Here is a place where we actually set a logical condition for our program control to enter the loop body whenever the condition turns out to be true. Number 3, body of the loop. The body of a loop is always enclosed in flower braces and contains certain set of statements which is to be executed again and again till our looping condition expires. Number 4, counter increment or decrement zone. Here is a place where our loop counter value is altered each time the body of our loop gets executed. This process determines the completion of a single loop cycle. The loop when placed in a program compiles just fine and the same code when triggered to run, you will get the following print statement my name is Balaji executed 5 times. The number of repetitions of our loop is solely dependent on the initial counter value set, the looping condition present and the increment operation performed over here. Once the loop completes its execution, the program control comes out of the loop to execute our remaining statements till it reaches the end of our program. The same program can be performed in a different way as well. Consider a for loop with the initial counter value declared as 5. Now place a condition which says the counter value should always be greater than 0. The body of the loop remains just the same as seen in our previous program. And here in this logic, we are going to decrement the counter value for each loop cycle. The loop when inserted to a program compiles just fine and when executed gives us the same result what we saw before in our previous program. Okay, we agree that loop body is executing 5 times. But how? What is the control flow? Without knowing what is happening inside, how can we get a clear picture? You want me to explain the control flow? There you go. In our program loopsdemo1.java, initially a counter variable bearing name I is initialized to 0. Later in the same line, a looping condition defined by a programmer is checked, that is I less than 5. As the condition turns out to be true for this instant, the program control enters the loop body and executes the same by printing the statement my name is Balaji over here. Once the loop body completes its execution for the first iteration, it then moves to line number 5 where the loop increment operation is performed. As the current value of our counter is 0, in this cycle it gets incremented to numerical value 1. Here once again, the looping condition is rechecked, and when true, the program control moves into the loop body. The program control now executes the body of the loop for the second time, and so the print statement my name is Balaji appears on screen once again. Once the loop body completes its execution, the program control will now move back to line number 5 where our counter is now incremented to numerical value 2. As it happened before, the condition is now rechecked, and this process will continue till this logic comes to a halt. When the loop counter value is incremented to a numerical value 5, the looping condition here turns out to be false. This gives an indication for our program control to exit to line number 9, skipping the execution of our loop body as seen over here. The program control will now execute the remaining lines of code below the loop till it reaches the end of our program loopsdemo1.java. ವಾವ್, ಸಿಂಪ್ಲಿ ವಾವ್. ಏನ್ಲಾ ನಾಯಿ ಥರ ಓವ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆಯಾ? ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲನೇಷನ್ ಗುರು, ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳು ಗಿಣಿಪಾಠ ಹೇಳ್ದಂಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀಯಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ವಾವ್ ಅಂದೆ. ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ನನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಕಳ ಥರನೇ, ನಿಮಗೆ ಪಾಠ ಮಾಡೋದೇ ನನಗೊಂದು ಆನಂದ. ಸ್ಕೋಪ್ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಸಾಕು. ಟೀಚ್ us how to design a while loop in Java.
Understanding while loop in Java.
The while loop in Java has a structure as shown here. On top of the loop that is outside our while loop, we have a loop counter I which is initialized to 0. In our while loop statement, all we have is a condition which can theoretically be anything, but here in this program, the condition is relating to our counter value. Below this, we have our loop body enclosed in flower braces, which contains the statements which is to be executed repeatedly again and again. Now observe carefully. As in our for loop, we don't have a separate dedicated space for performing increment or decrement operation. A while loop just runs on a single condition. It neither asks you to declare a counter, nor it asks you to do something specific like increment or decrement the counter value in every loop cycle. As a programmer, we should personally balance the logic by using something known as the logic balancer. A logic balancer in general is a plain increment or a decrement operation on our counter variable, but it is completely a programmer's liberty to use it in his own way. Now insert the loop in our program loopsdemo2.java and press Ctrl 1 to compile the same, which shows 0 errors as seen below. Now run the program by pressing Ctrl 2 and boom! The print statement my name is Balaji is printed 5 times, and the program control has executed our other statements below the loop. The same loop can be written other way around. The counter declared above is first initialized to a numerical value 5. Inside the while loop condition, we say the loop will function till the value of our counter is greater than 0. The loop body here can have any number of statements, but for now, let us write only one print statement my name is Balaji as in our previous example. The logic balancer here, which is to be added explicitly in this program, decrements the counter value by 1 for each loop cycle. The loop when inserted to our program compiles just fine as we press Ctrl 1. When this program is executed by pressing Ctrl 2, the looping statement would have executed "My name is Balaji" 5 times. The program control also would have executed our other statements as seen in the below output. Now it is the time to see working of a while loop in Java.
Working of a while loop.
The loop counter present in line number 5 is initialized to 0, which is explicitly added outside the loop. The program control now reaches the while loop statement in line number 7 and checks for the condition present inside small parenthesis. If the condition turns out to be true, the program control now enters the loop body and executes all our statements present inside flower braces. The explicitly added logic balancer increments the counter value by 1, and at the end of the loop body in line number 11, the program control is again taken back to line number 7 to recheck the condition whether it is valid or not. The above process is repeated again and again as seen in this illustration. Once the condition inside the while loop turns out to be false, the program control brings the loop to a halt. And here, as the program control exits the loop overall, it now skips the loop body which is present right below. The program control now reaches line number 12 and it executes all our statements present below till it reaches line number 13, which completes the execution of our program here. So that finishes the structure and working of while loop and for loop. You all don't know what effort we have taken to make you understand this topic. If at all you have any doubt in understanding the above concept, just play the video one more time and write down the flow for each step in your notebook. I can challenge you anywhere, almost 95% of the doubts will be resolved if you are maintaining proper notes by writing down every step what is being taught over here. If at all you have any doubt left which is unresolved, just WhatsApp your doubt to this number and we will solve it for you. Remember, you understanding the subject is our topmost priority. Nin priority benki bittu. You taught us 2 loops, okay, but now where to use it? Shanti. In real-time applications, as you noticed, loops are not used just to print my name 5 times. It has a better purpose to serve. One such real-time illustration for you to conceive at this stage is iterating an array using basic for loop.
Real-time application of a for loop.
In the below program, all we are doing is iterating an array. Iterating an array simply means displaying all the values present inside. In this program, as you can see, an array is declared and initialized in line number 6, followed by a for loop in line number 9. The counter value which stores the current value of an array index is first initialized to 0. This indicates the counter is now pointing to the 0th index of an array. The condition present here says the counter value which represents the array index should always be less than the array length defined. As our initial counter value is 0, which is less than the array length defined, the condition turns out to be true and the program control enters the loop body. The loop body now contains a print statement to print the value of our current index, which is a generic statement for any index of our array. Once the program control executes the loop body, it displays the value present in the 0th array index. The program control now moves to line number 9 to increment the counter value by 1, which makes the counter point to the next index of our array as seen over here. The loop now continues to execute for a few cycles in the same way as it happened in our previous iteration. Now once the loop counter value exceeds the array length, that is I equal to 5, the array index pointer goes out of bound and the condition now will turn out to be false. The program control terminates the loop by skipping the loop body and directly moves to line number 13 to execute the below statements in peace till it reaches the end of our program. Now there is a challenge for you. Iterate the same array in this program using a while loop, replacing the existing for loop, which shows your real ability that you have understood the loops concept correctly. Challenge accepted.
Yes! Difference between for loop and while loop.
Now here is an important interview question for you. What is the difference between a for loop and a while loop? The topic is almost coming to an end, so stay close. The structure of a for loop is such that the counter initialization, the looping condition and the counter increment or decrement operation will always be present in a single line. Whereas in our while loop, the structure will only ask you to define a looping condition to proceed with and nothing else. In a for loop, declaration of a loop counter and defining its alteration for every loop cycle is compulsory. Whereas in while loop, the counter initialization and adding of logic balancers is not at all compulsory and it is to be added explicitly by a programmer in his program. The for loop what we use is a predictive loop, as you can predict the number of loop cycles clearly all by seeing its declaration in the first line. Whereas a while loop is a non-predictive loop, as we cannot predict the number of loop cycles mere by seeing its declaration in the first line.
Confusion alert.
Many students, I repeat, many students even today think that they can write only I++ or I-, when they declare a for loop. I have also seen many Brahaspatis who think the name given to a loop counter can only be I and nothing else. For heaven's sake, if you have such thoughts, throw it to the dustbin, as loops in any language are very generic in nature. The name of the counter can be anything like I, J, K, XYZ, Batman, Superman. ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ಯಾಕೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಹೆಸರು ಕೂಡ ಇಟ್ಕೊಬಹುದು. All you have to make sure that it has to be a valid identifier. And for the people who think that they can use only I++ for incrementing, ಜಾಡ್ಸ್ ಒದ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ಇಂಟರ್ವ್ಯೂಲಿ ಏನಾದ್ರು ಆ ಥರ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ. Increment or decrement operation in a loop can be anything. It can be I++, I-, I is equal to I+2, I is equal to I+5, or any step size of your choice that you want to increment or decrement in your program. Here is a small do-it-yourself assignment for you. The following program is an example of a for loop with a different counter name and a different step size to be incremented. Execute the program and analyze the output for yourself. This will help you in understanding loops in a better way, and it clears all your confusion related to loop counters as explained above. And that completes part 1 of our syllabus, Understanding Loops. Tomorrow we will be seeing how to work with a do while loop and an enhanced for loop, so be ready. Make notes for every step what I tell or you will land up in soup later. Do text us your doubts on WhatsApp if you have any so that we can solve it for you. Remember, you understanding the subject is our topmost priority. Subscribe to this channel to stay updated for our next video release. Till then, this is Balaji Kaya signing out, and you know what to do. Muchkond Kodumadi.